From 9 News, this is Today with Carl and Sarah.
Good morning, welcome to your news today. Coming up, Telstra testing reveals some Samsung phones can't call 000. Plus, King Charles touches down in Rome ahead of an historic meeting with Pope Leo. And Robert Irwin earns his highest score yet with a Wicked-inspired jazz routine on Dancing with the Stars.
So good. We begin, though, with the devastating wash-up from a day of wild weather across Victoria. 2 men killed in rough waters at Frankston Beach. Let's go live to 9 Melbourne reporter Isabel Quinlan in Frankston. Izzy, what happened?
Well, Carl, the 2 men became in trouble after they were swept from the Frankston Pier around 4:30 yesterday afternoon. Emergency services were called shortly after and battled extreme conditions to try and save these men, but both were found unresponsive and sadly couldn't be revived. Now, the SES received more than 900 calls yesterday for assistance, mainly for trees down after extreme winds of more than 100 kilometres an hour were experienced in some parts of the state. Conditions are expected to be a little bit calmer here today, so the clean-up is underway, Carl.
Thank you.
Russia has launched a new wave of attacks on Ukraine just hours after Donald Trump said peace talks were on hold. It's really scary vision, isn't it? Let's go live now to 9 US correspondent Reid Butler, who joins us from LA. Reid, a kindergarten was also hit in the strikes.
Correct, Sarah. At least 7 people have been killed in these renewed attacks from Russia across Ukraine, including 2 children. All of this just days after Donald Trump said he was sure that his Russian counterpart wanted peace. Interestingly, Moscow this morning is still insisting that face-to-face talks between the 2 leaders will still go ahead. That's despite the fact the White House has poured cold water on that suggestion. We know there will be a meeting, though, later today at the White House between Donald Trump and the boss of NATO. Sarah.
Reid, thank you.
A warning this morning for some Samsung phone users with certain models at risk of failing to connect to 000. Today, tech expert Trevor Long joins us now from San Francisco. Trev, good morning to you. What is behind the issue?
Carl, I believe the issue resulted from the 3G switch off. So obviously we know like late last year the 3G networks were switched off. These phones have been since then unable to connect to the Vodafone network. Now, it's not actually the fault of either the network or the phone. It's a configuration issue. And what that means is 71 different Samsung phones may have this problem. 60 of them can be fixed with a software update. And we're encouraging everyone with a Samsung phone to look for a software update. But 11 different models of Samsung phone, which could be thousands and thousands of Australians between 7 and 10 years old, are absolutely not going to work on these networks. They definitely won't be able to call 000, and in about a month they'll be switched off from the network. So if you own those model phones, you need to get a new phone to be able to call 000 and use your mobile network.
Trev, thank you.
Vatican City will host the first joint prayer between a British monarch and the Pope in 500 years during a visit by King Charles. Let's go live now to 9 Europe correspondent Mimi Becker, who joins us in St Peter's Square. Mimi, good to see you. Both the King and Queen are now in Rome.
Sarah, they are, and they were welcomed by representatives from the Holy See. This royal tour is a chance to show unity between the Church of England and the Catholic Church. Now, that historic moment will happen tomorrow in the Sistine Chapel when a British reigning monarch will pray alongside the Pope publicly for the first time since the 16th century. It will be in the Sistine Chapel there underneath the famous frescoes of Michelangelo. Now, this is the second trip to the Vatican for King Charles and Queen Camilla this year. They were here in April when they managed to see Pope Francis in the weeks before he passed away. But tomorrow will be the first time the King meets Pope Leo XIV and a chance for the pair to share their faith. Sarah.
Mimi, thank you. The director of the Louvre Museum has offered to resign in the wake of the jewellery heist. She told French senators it was a, quote, terrible failure, admitting the museum's CCTV system was weak and ageing. Incredibly, the only camera monitoring the area of the break-in was facing the wrong way. UK Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer has joined calls for an inquiry into Prince Andrew's living arrangements at the Royal Lodge. Andrew hasn't paid rent on the 30-room mansion in more than 2 decades. Instead, charged a small annual fee. The Prince is under intense scrutiny as a book written by his accuser, Virginia Giuffre, hits the shelves.
Well, pack your suitcases because a South Australian getaway spot has just been named one of the world's top travel destinations for 2026. Live to 9 Adelaide reporter Will DeFulvio will tell us where it is.
Well, Jane, there's plenty of breathtaking places right across this nation, but Lonely Planet has called the Flinders Ranges otherworldly beauty, and it is hard to disagree with the vast red dirt that stretches out, with Aboriginal culture heading in one direction and fossil sites heading in the other, just 5 hours north of Adelaide. Lonely Planet's Best Travel in 2026 compiles the 50 best locations and experiences for the next year, with places like Phuket, Peru and Sardinia in Italy. So to have the Flinders Ranges alongside that list, Jane, is one that I think all Australians can wear as a badge of honour.
Yeah, absolutely, Will. Thank you. A Brisbane-based hospitality company wants the city's venues to stay open until 2 a.m. in a bid to revitalise nightlife. Any Day Group recently revealing its plans to extend dining hours at 2 locations for international visitors and wandering locals. The business says the plan would only work with support from hotels and relaxed liquor licensing laws. A local Darwin fisherman has hooked himself a splash of cash, reeling in an 80-centimetre barramundi worth a whopping $10,000 in the Northern Territory's $1 Million Fish competition. Colin Carthew used a live mullet with no sinker and spotted the lucky red tag while the scaly swimmer was still in the water.
I got it. I got a red tag. Oh my God, I'm trembling. I just caught a red tag. Woohoo! Yeah, baby!
He says he will spend the prize money on a family holiday filled with snorkelling, scuba and sunshine. Great idea.
Very good.
What a catch.
Awesome catch.
Now, our favourite wildlife warrior is defying gravity and expectations once again on Dancing with the Stars in the US. There he is.
Did you pick up the pun there, defying gravity?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, good. I knew you
actually,
would.
No, I didn't.
Robert Irwin cast a spell on the judges, sliding across the stage on a book and even busting out the worm during a routine inspired by the blockbuster film and Carlos's favourite, Wicked. He's good. He and his partner Whitney earning their highest score yet with 36 out of 40. And judges also declaring Robert was meant to be a performer.
There's one nasty judge, but apart from that, and Sarah and I are going to be trying that dance a little bit later on in the program as well.
It's a walk in the park, easy, easy.
Or a worm in the park. Can you do the worm?
I cannot do. We need Danica. She can do the worm. I can't do the worm.
Fine.
Let's take a look at the weather right across the country for you now. And strong winds are a big feature of our Wednesday forecast, with a large area of Australia's southeast affected by a low pressure system.
Dance like no one's watching, says. Very hot for Sydney again. Wet for Canberra, Melbourne, Hobart and Adelaide. Fine though for Perth and Brizzy.